Hi, I'm Douglas Adam with Kryton International, based in Vancouver, BC, Canada. Today we're going to look at our Krystol T1 product, available both gray and white variety and packaged with our distinctive blue lid. T1 is a cementitious product. It turns caustic on contact with water, so safety first. We need to wear latex or nitrile gloves. Dust mask is recommended when mixing, and of course safety glasses to keep us safe. Surface preparation is key to ensure a good strong bond with the substrate. It may be necessary to clean by wire brush or by high pressure water blast at approximately 2500 to 3000 psi to remove any grease, form oil, dirt, or latents from our surface, while at the same time forcing water in and saturating our receiving surface. With our surface clean, we now need to reach saturated surface dry, or SSD condition. This is when all of our surface pores are full, saturated, with no standing water on the surface to dilute the products we're going to apply. Now when we say saturated, we mean saturated. Quick dusting with a spray bottle isn't enough. We can use a good douse with a sponge, or again, a high pressure water blast. Provide enough water for the surface and allow it time to soak as needed. When measuring out your T1, it's important to scoop loose powder, strike it off flat. Do not pack it down. Using a mixture of 3.5 parts powder to 1 part water by volume, we combine our ingredients and begin to mix. At a ratio of 3.5 parts powder to 1 part water, we can obtain a fairly wet, flowable mixture. Consistency similar to pancake batter. You can get a good buildup on the trowel, but still flowable enough to be spreadable and get a smooth coat. With too much water, our mixture will be very thin and flowable and difficult to get the layer buildup that we're looking for. With too little water, our mixture will be too thick to be spreadable and not very flowable. At 3.5 parts powder to 1 part water by volume, our mixture is just right. If allowed to let stand for just a couple of minutes, your T1 will form a hard skin and you might think it's set off on you, but it hasn't. Quick shear with your trowel and you're right back to pancakes. For application of T1, we recommend against the use of a paintbrush. The bristles are quite flexible and also quite densely packed. You'll find that these tend to fill up with material and turn into a scraper. They also tend to deposit bristles in your coating. The masonry style brush is recommended. The bristles are a little more rigid and a little more open. You tend not to have the caking issue that we get with the paintbrush. We also have a wallpaper style brush. Again, with the rigid bristles, very open, but at half the thickness of the masonry brush, this is really good in corners and tight spaces. With our T1 prepared, it's time to come back and recheck our receiving surface. If working on a hot day or in direct sun, it might be necessary to re-wet to maintain SSD condition. This surface is ready to go, so we're going to apply. For application of T1, we recommend either a circular motion or a scrubbing motion. Either way ensures the product is forced right into the surface pores, leaving no openings and no thin spots. With our product applied, we can now smooth it out to a nice consistent finish. The ratio of 3.5 parts powder to 1 part water works well for horizontal as well as for vertical surfaces. With our product applied, we need to confirm our layer thickness. With a 1 coat application, we're looking for a layer approximately 2 to 3 millimeters, 1/16 to 1/8 of an inch thick. This is easily confirmed by dragging your finger back through the coating and visually measuring the thickness of the layer. If a surface finish is required for your project, the T1 must be allowed to let stand for 10 or 15 minutes first to firm up. If a broom finish is required, it can be applied at this time. If your customer requests a smooth trowel finish, that can also be performed. Whatever the requirements are for your project. Following application, it's important to protect our coating from the environment and from rapid drying out. After a couple hours to let stand, we recommend covering it with poly or a tarp to help maintain moisture levels. Following the first day, it is recommended to give it a light mist for wet curing to help develop full strength and full performance. When curing, it is important to keep your protective layer from actually contacting the surface directly. Any contact can remove material and compromise future product performance. The day following application, you can check the quality of your coating by confirming its integrity and the bond with the surface. A gentle manual rub, or even a slight scraping with a trowel, do not remove any material from the substrate. If material comes off or flakes off as a powder, it was likely applied to a dry surface and did not have any bond. In a second coat application, it is important to perform surface preparation on the first coat to ensure a solid bond from the second coat. A gentle sanding or a gentle wire brush to open up the surface and expose the aggregate will ensure a good bond with the second coat. That first coat, however, has to be clean and SSD for the same reason as the surface on the first coat.